Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea, wrote a detailed report to Emperor Tiberius about Jesus, addressing his miracles, trial, crucifixion, and resurrection. This report presents surprising information, some of which is not recorded in the Gospels. Today we will discuss a significant archaeological discovery made by the winning team by Kathleen Kenyon in 1961 on the Caesarea Maritime website. To begin with, it is interesting to mention a document known as the Acts of Pilate, which was initially part of an apocryphal book, the Acts of Peter and Paul, written in the 1st century. However, Pilate's Acts were preserved intact as an elaborate original document written by Pilate himself. This account was also included in a 4th century apocryphal book of Nicodemus and is often debated. But before continuing with the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video and leave your like. It's very important for the channel, so let's go. As for its historical accuracy, some scholars have argued that it is a factual account, while others suggest that it may have been somewhat embellished by Christians over time. Caesar transfers his concern to the negative comments made by Herod about him. This is a logical reason for writing such a document, and it is promising that an account maker added such a specific detail in 138 AD. The ancient church father Justin Martyr wrote to the Roman Emperor Antoninus Pius, explicitly mentioning Pilate's report suggests that the report was widely known as early as 150 AD and possibly was in the imperial archives in Rome. For the emperor to read one of the text of Justin Martyr describes the events after the crucifixion of Jesus, including soldiers casting lots for Jesus' clothes, as described in the Gospels. Another church priest, Tertullian, relates a story that Tiberius Caesar himself currently adds Jesus to the Roman pantheon of conquests. These accounts suggest that, at least for some ancient historical figures, the existence and events surrounding Jesus were recognized and written, adding changes to the accounts found in the Gospels. In other early Christian writings, the existence of Pilate's report is a matter of controversy as there are no records of it in the Roman archives. However, its importance is highlighted by the fact that early Christians and even opponents of the Christian faith considered with great esteem Pontius Pilate's letter to Emperor Tiberius. It is a crucial element in understanding the events surrounding the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Its relevance is even more evident from the efforts of Emperor Maximian in 311 after Christ that I attempted to create a falsified version of Pilate's Acts to undermine the influence of Christianity. This suggests the significant impact that Pilate's original account had within the Roman Empire. We seek to investigate this document through a detailed analysis of Pilate's words and provide comments on their historical context. We begin with the first lines of Pilate's letter to Emperor Tiberius. Pontius Pilate to Emperor Tiberius. Greetings. Recent events in my province were of such magnitude that I felt the need for details, as I cannot help but express my concern, for it seems that the gods are no longer in our favor. I come to regret the day when Valerius gratefully left the government of Judea. Jerusalem, in particular, proved to be a city difficult to control with its people prone to imminent unrest and revolts. The passage in which Pontius Pilate expresses his concerns about the defense of Jerusalem reveals an alarming situation. He reports having only a centurion and a few soldiers to protect a city known for its unrest and potential for rebellion. This suggests that the authority Romana in the region was extremely precarious. The fact that Pilate requested reinforcements, the mayor of Syria, who in turn was barely able to defend his own province, highlights the excessive extension of the Roman Empire and the scarcity of military resources to maintain it. This situation raises concerns about the sustainability of the empire and the possibility of its imminent destruction. Pilate's words echo the frustrations of his grateful predecessor Valerius, who also faced difficulties in governing Judea. The lack of available troops highlights the fragility of Roman control in the region and the challenges faced in maintaining order. Furthermore, Pilate's apprehensions about the consequences of the excessive expansion of the empire and the inadequacy of military resources foreshadow later events in the narrative. These questions shed light on the context, broader story and highlight the challenges faced by the Roman Empire at that time. Pontius Pilate's concerns probably influenced his decisions, including his handling of the trial and the crucifixion of Jesus. As we examine the document further, we will discover how troop shortages played a key role in Pilate's decision to order the crucifixion of Jesus. Returning to Pilate's words, he mentions a rumor that caught his attention: a young man who appeared in Galilee preaching a new doctrine in the name of the gods. Initially concerned about the possibility of this young man citing the people against the Romans, Pilate soon realized that Jesus of Nazareth had a friendlier approach towards the Romans than towards the Jews. Pilate describes an encounter he had with Jesus near the Silo site, where he heard him speaking calmly to a crowd. He describes Jesus as having a heavenly appearance, with golden hair and beard and a serene countenance, in contrast to the Jewish listeners, who had dark beards and a less calm expression. This description suggests an aura of peace and kindness around Jesus that contrasted with the attention and agitation of the moment. The description of Jesus as having blonde hair and a beard is an intriguing detail, as it is unique among historical documents. This raises questions about its authenticity. Was this detail added by later scribes who copied the document? Or did Jesus actually look different to most of his contemporaries? It is difficult to say for sure, but it is possible that it was an addition over the years. Returning to Pilate's account, he goes on to describe his encounter with Jesus in Silo. While Pilate was not willing to interrupt Jesus' preaching at that time, he instructed his manor secretary to join the group and listen to Hans, being well acquainted with the Hebrew language and devoted to Pilate, reported Jesus' words impressively. Jesus answered a question about paying tribute to Caesar with a wise phrase: "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." Pilate the wisdom in these words and decided not to arrest Jesus, as this would go against Roman justice. He granted Jesus unrestricted freedom, allowing him to act, speak, and gather followers freely. However, this unlimited freedom granted to Jesus provoked the wrath of Jewish leaders, especially the rich and powerful. Jesus was severe with them, criticizing their pride and hypocrisy. Pilate reported that complaints against Jesus' insolence were frequent in the praetorium, showing growing tension between Jesus and the religious authorities of at that time. Pilate was informed that some misfortune could happen to Jesus because it would not be the time that Jerusalem was stoned. Those who called themselves prophets, should the praetorium refuse to do justice, an appeal would be made to Caesar. However, Pilate received assurances from the Senate that his conduct was proven and that he would receive reinforcements following the conclusion of the war in Parthia. With the war being a constant concern, Pilate adopted a measure that promised to restore tranquility in the city without subjecting Pilate's hesitation to crucify to a humiliating concession. Jesus suggests that he chose to hand him over to quell the political unrest of the time and avoid possible revolts. Like Pilate's inscription, an ancient artifact discovered in 1960 and near Caesarea Maritima in Israel, this stone is a dedicatory inscription on a block of limestone and is significant because it provides archaeological evidence for the existence of Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea. Reference in the New Testament accounts of the trial and crucifixion of Jesus. Caesarea Maritima, located along the Mediterranean coast of Israel, was a significant ancient city and an administrative center during Roman times. Pilate's stone was found reused in the staircase leading to a theater at the site. Archaeologists identified themselves due to the Latin inscription engraved on the limestone block. If you liked this video, share it with your family, friends, and subscribe to my channel. May God bless you mightily. I'll wait for you in the next video. A big hug.